won't be a crater. But we want to reach a full stop there, which is 553, and we have 800 still in our tank. And then still 768 in our sky crane. Let's accelerate to where we need to be. I should have done that here, by the way. That was a little bit silly that I froze here. But it's okay. That is the beautiful surface of the Mun, which we'll soon be exploring on the spot. Okay, I'm doing this very slowly because I want to make sure we don't mess up. It's not exactly that precise, to be honest. We could land here, we could land a little bit later, but I just want to get in the habit. It's a good habit to have. 3, 2, 1, blast. Now that camera change already indicates that we're going to hit the Mun surface. We change from a full-on orbital to a surface mode. Whoa. Now again, we cannot rotate right now. That is definitely what we would have needed RCS for. Now look at that. There we go. That was the moment, that flip between retrograde and prograde is the moment where we became absolutely vertical. It is also the moment where we unleash our rover, and since we will be dumping our bottom stage soon, it will be worthwhile getting these up so we can keep in touch with the satellites once we dump these antennae. Now this says estimated burn 6 because our surface, our impact, we're going to be impacting in the lowlands. We're going to be impacting in a minute. But I'm going to blast now for the simple reason that we have 200 meters per second, but we're not going to have it for that long. So I'm going to make use of this to lower. Note that we have 2 kilometers until we get to the surface. You want this little X there to be on the dot. That means you're going straight down. This is also where you'd want RCS, so you don't push that X off the dot while you're trying to move. So we're 800 away. This time, I'm going to be dumping that bottom stage. Reason is that I want to... Whoa, 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 whoa! Oh god, this thing is massively imbalanced. Why is this so imbalanced? We just increase our spin. Yet another failed rover. This thing is going to break itself on the surface of the Mun. Is there any way I can adjust, rotate this thing? Okay, we are in the hands of physics right now, ladies and gentlemen. Oh god, oh god, oh god, come on, come on, come on. Yes! Little Dick Grayson broke his neck again. Yeah, no kidding. Actually, he lost an eye. Yeah, the thrusters are not symmetrical on the rover, yeah. What I should have done was measured out how far it is, and then, because they were not symmetrical, I should have had the one that was sticking out on the front, and I should have limited that thrust. But indeed, victory! He lost an eye. But the science remains. Victory. Let's get that temperature scan of the lowlands. Can't seem to make up its mind whether it's hot or cold. Pressure scan. They say insanity is doing the same thing multiple times and expecting different results. You check the atmospheric pressure again anyways. What's the magnetometer say? Faint magnetic field. Thank you. Seismic. Ooh, it was a minor quake. I wonder if that has anything to do with the little accident we had here. Oh man, we did it. We are on the lowlands. So let's, you know what, before we start transmitting, I want to drive this baby around. Oh, I'd have to turn off the brakes. Whoa, whoa, whoa. We would need to reverse the motor direction. And steering is okay. Oh, look at this baby. Look at this little baby go. We have an active rover on Mun's surface. Driving a rover on the moon, exactly. Imagine a website where you could just rent a rover for an hour, just drive around the moon, have live video feed. That would be so good. Although there'd probably be a little bit of time delay that'd make it difficult, and you know some jerk is going to crash that thing. So, leave only footprints, huh? Let's get rid of that one. Yeah. That's okay. Let's come on, let's scoot. I'm very pleased with the offset of the wheels. That does make it a little bit more stable. It's amazing though that we have this debris field right now of where we actually landed. I wonder... We'd have to know where the biomes are to know where we could even go. But this is a moment of joy. So we know that our sky crane design is faulty. That does not work. But our rover design is just fine. This baby does its job well. The main problem with rovers on the Mun is that they tip over very easily. That's why, if you recall, I specifically chose these other wheels because they're slower, and I tilted them like this. As you can see, they're a little bit weirdly tilted so that the speed doesn't get too high, and it sort of hinders itself rolling. The downside is it's going to take a while to get to faraway places. But the upside is it does not want to flip over, which is exactly the way I like it. I am so damn happy right now. It's the dumbest thing. I know this isn't doing anything right now, but I just want to drive this rover on the Mun. And you know what the weird thing is? I actually like it better with one light on it. It's just a little bit cooler. Okay. Let's get this data and start transmitting this baby. Now, let's see if we can configure this. The JSX Dick Grayson. The scanner is currently disabled, that's fine. Now, there's no way that I can turn off these things. So I can't adjust whether when it sends things, when it doesn't send things. So the only thing I want is it not to bother me ever. Maybe when it has malfunctions. But I don't want any messages that its battery is low, because that'll solve itself. It has a battery pack, and as you can see, that battery pack can sustain transmission. Whew. So all we need for this thing to do is to stand here and transmit its signs right now. Super, super happy. Why do we not have a low resolution scan of Kerbin yet? We have our low resolution scan of the Mun in. Now the Dick Grayson, we have the Dick Grayson here, which is, I'll need to rename that, but the debris we can destroy. Dick Grayson itself will change into a rover. We need to make sure that the, I like to keep the tags clear. Because just now, if that wasn't clear, for example, let's say they had the wrong tags, I could have accidentally deleted a rover. But also, if we identify it as a rover, the game will recognize it as a rover, which will make it give us missions that we can complete. And that gives rovers some extendability. It allows you to farm your rovers, basically. But why do we not have a low altimetry scan of Kerbal? Wasn't that what the Cha-Cha was doing? That was a scan set. Our altimetry of Kerbin is... What are those? Is that... No, that's not debris. I want to figure out what's going on here. Oh, hey. Rover's on location, ready for research. The rover deployment contract has been completed, 20,000. Ah, and the low resolution scan has been completed, 40,000. That, at least, makes up for our terrible, terrible loss with the experimental playing, money-wise. So, Kerbin is 79% explored. I want to check the Mun. So once they are 100% explored, which the Mun pretty much seems to be, we can actually transmit that science to Kerbin. So let's go to tracking station. See whether it's reasonable to wait for that, or whether we just transmit the science right away. So we have scanned 98.3%. Let's check its orbits. Here's the thing. It is going to scrape these little areas. So, as you can see that it already did for the others. So we're gonna wait a little bit on these. Just gonna return to the Space Center and do that later for some extra free science. Let's see what else we have. Kerbin surveys. Temperature survey of the Mun. In space flight. That's tricky to get in proper space flight above those. On a satellite in orbit of the Mun, that's always good cash, and we can do that. Rover mission. You want a rover on Minmus? Well, anything that we can put in the Mun, we can put on Minmus. And you want Dick Grayson to be moved to a different space on the Mun. That is something... Rescue and recovery! Kerbal Kerman. Yeah, stranded low Kerbin orbit. That's something we want to do. Because it gets us 70k and a new Kerbal. Yes, accept it. Oh. They want plasma wave scans in specific orbits. Now these are the ones, keep an eye out on these. These are ones that take a long while. So while we get this cache and this science relatively easy enough, two different types of scans from low and high orbit, the actual final outcome we get pretty late, but it's an investment that we can do. New Kerbal, expectations better for qualifications than Valentina? How dare you, sir? You know what? We're gonna take these. It just involves putting more satellites in orbit of the Mun. Gives us a little bit of cash, gives us a tiny bits of science, but it's an investment for later. And I'm gonna keep an eye out on the rover mission. Gonna do a quick check how far we want. Oh, there we go. Shebal's Hulk is now in low Kerbal orbit. This is relatively easy to recover. Minimus. I'll have a look at that later. Now, where are the... There were two orbits, right? Was this the one orbit? In any case, Blaze, the space penguins, that is relatively close. So we can do that easy rover mission and rake in some free cash. Rover missions, rover expedition. Did we already accept the deployment on Minimus? No, but we only have one space left. Let's do the rover expedition first. Because as you can see, that just gets us 20k for driving around a rover. That's too cheap. Now this rover deployment though, lovely, lovely stuff. It's gonna be open for 5 more days, so we're gonna be good. Let's head to our rover. The only possible downside might be that we Dick Grayson, that we run out of power, and that we're going to need to wait a little bit because we're also transmitting at the same time. We can turn the transmissions off, but if we can avoid it, then I'd rather not. I love, by the way, how you can see the entire map and the other satellite in there as well. Let's activate the navigation to Blaze. And that's not the one we want. Rover expedition, there we go. So, put off those brakes and let's start moving forward. We're gonna be there in 4 minutes. Oh man. We just need to go there and then investigate various things. Well, looks like this is a good time for any Q&A if you have it. Any questions? I would be happy to discuss them with you. There we go. Since we're going to be driving here for 4 minutes, I'm actually, I have my hands off the joystick right now, and I'm using the keyboard to go. This, by the way, demonstrates why the... Oh, actually, I wonder what happens if I put something... Oh. Okay. Here's some things that you'll want to keep in mind when driving rovers. With the keyboard... Up, so W for the WASD connection, WASD controls is forward. But I keep having to reverse the engine controls. That's because I use a joystick. And for me, forward is the sensible control to go forward. But on the joystick, forward means down. So that's why I need to reverse our controls. So now that I'm using the keyboard, I have to press S to go forward because I've reversed it. There we go. And another thing, this nav ball is now becoming useless because the probe's front. This probe's front is the flat surface, so that's pointed up. That's why this is also pointed up. So if you want to control this differently, you need to put something in front, like, well, you can't do that with a light. There's only certain things, like a docking port, for instance, that you can click and say control from here, and then it'll reorientate the spacecraft in that direction. So if you put like a tiny little docking port here, it'll help you face forward with your rover. Why are there no stars visible? There are. Just a few. But it's an optical illusion. When you go down here, the stars are dark because you're comparing it, there we go, to that surface and light that's rebounding. You can actually get a mod that changes that around and shows you more. Like when you're in space, shows you a whole wide Milky Way. Those are pretty cool, but I haven't been able to get the visual enhancement mods working on this game yet. I do want some stock visual enhancements. Investigate the marker. The marker? Oh god, I'm not happy about investigating markers. I've seen how this game goes. Will Little Dick run out of electricity, or can we enable the headlight? Little Dick has some electricity. It is depleting, and the headlight, 109. See, it's what we have. 109 if I hold this down, or 121 if I put the lights on. It doesn't actually change that much. See, it's like 0.1. So we can put the headlight on. It's orange, yellowish, as we indicated. But it doesn't illuminate that much, because of course it's daytime. Lights off. Lights on, lights off. So just to be efficient, I'm not going to be turning that on right now. Now this generates 0.3, as you can see. So if we want to do everything, we would need 4 more of these panels on this thing. Now, of course, it says 3 minutes ETA to the marker, but we just need to be within 500. Now, the way that we designed Little Grayson is because of the angled wheels, it doesn't roll easily. So if I let go, you can see that it stops, even though it's on a slope. If you'd had the wheels perfectly centered downwards, it would roll quite easily. And it's also stopping because the wheels are angled a little bit. So I intentionally kind of crippled him just to make sure it is very stable. But that does feature into things. That features into why it moves at such a slow... Whoa! That. Do you see that? That was not the controls. That was a weird little bit of Mun surface. That's what you can get on the Mun. Low gravity and weird little glitches when you move from one texture bit to another, one polygon, can sometimes freak out, and if you move quickly, it can flip and launch your rover into orbit. You would like me to investigate Milestone? Rover Expedition. Investigate Milestone. You'd like me to go to Milestone. Okay, nothing more. No checks, no things. Let's go to Milestone. Wait. So yeah, particularly for that reason, I'm keeping this off right now. 114? Actually 118, we can turn this on. It really doesn't matter that much. Now, of course, originally we'd had the second one on there to illuminate sort of that wide area. So now it doesn't really make that much sense to have it pointed to the side, but I like it. Okay, we are very close to where we need to go. And that's why these rover missions, they're easy. Drive around, sometimes take some readings, and then you're done. By the way, we're still in lowlands, this entire area. All lowlands. Okay. 20 meters. 10 meters. You're in milestone. Now they want me to investigate tree. There is no tree here. We'll follow his commands though. But as you can see, this is basically just a test of have you set up an actual rover that has some battery power, that can move around enough, that can do its thing. Pretty soon we're gonna have to let this thing charge. You know what? It might actually be a good moment to keep on driving, and then when we're out of electrical charge or nearly out of it, we just stop, wait a little bit, and I'll leave you with the background music while I go make a nice cup of tea. Continue a little bit more. Well, I could have some kind of auto drive on this thing. Okay, we're going to stop it here, put it on a break, and I will... Oh, that's interesting. The standard controls that I used for my overlay are also, of course, used in the rover. I'm going to leave you with this little bit of background music while I go make a cup of tea, and I'll be right back.